Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, John the House Guy, here with my lovely co-host,
Kim the Home Girl.
and we're going to be talking to you today about some milestones with the show, right?
Yes.
So big news for us is we've gotten now 40 shows in the can. Right?
40. We're still older than that, but anyway.
got,
40.
Got a lot of good content out there. So
Yay.
we've already done a best of for the first 20 shows, right?
Right.
So kind of getting recap.
Yeah, 20 is like our checkpoint. Like, let's go back and see what we've talked about the last 20 shows. There's a lot of really good content within those shows that we've recorded, talking about investing, real estate, home building, home buying, home selling, all the things. So go back and, you can go back and watch each episode. But right now, we're going to give you a recap of the last 20 that we've recorded.
Yeah, the best of, the rest of for 2023. Yep. Hope you enjoy it. Check it out.
You're listening to the House Guy and Home Girl podcast, a podcast about real estate and real life. As realtors, home builders, and real estate investors, John and Kim keep it real. Former teachers turned real estate professionals, they have a heart for helping others. Join them each week as they discuss all things home. And now, here's your hosts, John and Kim.
And this week we've got a great show about mistakes to avoid as a home buyer or a seller.
Basically, going back to the other point, don't get emotionally attached and just stay mentally stable. Be open-minded and flexible during this whole process.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, with the negotiation, that being the point, realtors have a lot of experience doing that, and that's
yeah, we do it every day.
We do it every day. Everything is a negotiation in a real estate deal, so
right.
There's that, So take a person who's got experience and then think win-win and find a solution that works for everybody, buyers and sellers, so that the deal moves forward, right? Because ultimately, our motivation for that is we want to get you to the closing table, make the transaction, get it all done so that you can move on to the next chapter in your life,
right.
Whether it's into your new home or out of your home.
And then same thing for the sellers, get them, get their mortgage paid and whatever other money they need.
Put some money in their pocket.
Yeah, and have them walk away, and everybody gets win-win,
Mm-hmm.
But it's a delicate process, and a good real estate agent will help you to avoid mistakes on both sides, whether you're looking to buy a home or sell your home currently.
So let's recap all these. Number one, don't be unrealistic. Keep it real.
Right.
Don't be stupid. Don't think you can buy a house for 50% of the cost. Don't think you can sell a house for 50% more than it's worth.
Or close on a house next week. So
yeah, right. Be realistic. Keep your emotions in check.
Right.
There's going to be something along the way that is going to make you mad. Okay? You got to keep it real. You got to make sure, hey, this is something that we're going to work through. I'm not going to let my emotions train wreck the deal.
And then keep up with the market trends. Don't let the market pass you by. As far as interest rates, don't let them get out of hand for your budget, whatever your budget is. Stay informed. Find a good real estate agent and talk through, where you are financially and what you can afford, and don't miss the market. Stay up with trends.
Yeah.
And then effective negotiation skills. Make sure, that be reasonable, be open-minded, find a good real estate agent that can talk you through those negotiations on both buyer and seller side. It's negotiations. There's a fine art with, real estate agents are great negotiators, and they can help you through this process in order to avoid mistakes.
This week, we're going to talk about countertops.
You can't pick countertops separately from your floors or your paint colors.
We see people do that all the time, right?
Yes.
And it's a mistake, and it always looks unrehearsed or developed or whatever.
It's just not cohesive.
Oh, I like that color of paint, and then they go to the cabinet store and they're like, I like that style of cabinets, and they go to the countertop and say, I like that, and instead of putting it all together and saying,
right,
this is what it's going to look like together.
Right.
Let's talk about the 5 basic options that we have
yes,
for countertops.
Now,
he doesn't supply all of those.
Right.
But what we usually do is granite or quartz.
Right. And those are kind of higher end. Those are really usually for new builds and higher end
or
flips.
a remodel. You may be
or
doing a remodel.
Yeah,
something
that's
like
what I'm
that.
saying.
Yeah.
But it's usually those are going to be your more costly countertops.
Mm-hmm.
And on the lower end of that spectrum is your Formica, laminate type countertops.
Concrete or wood.
Right,
Yeah.
concrete or
So
wood.
the 5 that we're going to discuss: granite, quartz, Formica, concrete, wood.
You just have to really make your selection based on, where your price range is, and you don't want to go too low on, it just really depends on what you're doing it for,
Right.
So
help us out. Comment down below. Which of the 5 do you have, or do you have something different? Do you have granite, quartz, Formica, concrete, or wood? And then, do you wish you had one of the other ones, or you love it? Just let us know.
And if we can help you and to answer any of your questions, or we've got a couple of granite people that we like to use, and we can put you in contact with them. And like he was saying, if you have one, you want to go to another. If we can answer any of your questions, we'll be glad to do that.
This week's show is really, really fun. We're going to be talking about 5 reasons you should move to our favorite place in the world, Northwest Alabama.
The Shoals is a really cool place to live. I mean, you've got those close-knit relationships with people. We still have cool entertainment venues. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get into it.
It's everything you need in a small town setting, right?
Right.
And then if and you're within, a lot of people, they drive, they commute an hour to work. You know what I mean? And
live here.
Yeah. Or I'm talking about big cities like Atlanta or Nashville. Those,
I gotcha.
So we're an hour from Huntsville, and basically you can get it here, you can get it there. But I mean, a lot of people commute that far every day, and people who in our town, they get that small town feel, and if they want to work or live in Huntsville or Decatur, it's still very close.
So if somebody's listening to this podcast and they're like, the Shoals, that's not on the map. What is the Shoals? So the Shoals encompasses Florence, Muscle Shoals, Sheffield, Tuscumbia.
Yeah, for the Quad Cities,
The
right?
Quad Cities, right. I don't know, Rogersville, is that in the Shoals?
Well, I would consider it to be.
Yeah, in the area. So if you are
Lauderdale
looking,
and Colbert County, that's pretty much.
And that's pretty much like where we sell homes as well, is
Right.
the Shoals. You're and a lot of people, if you do live in the Shoals, you'll hear people around here say something about the river. And so that's our first topic, is the Shoals and how it encompasses natural beauty and outdoor activities.
Oh yeah, one of the most common things people say over here is the other side of the river.
The other side of the river.
You got to go across the other side of the river. That's on the other side of the river.
Right. I had to cross that river today.
Yeah.
And even my children, y'all, Nora, who just turned 9, she's like, I don't want to cross the river. And I'm like, what are you talking about, crossing the river?
Yeah.
So
that is the county line between Colbert County and Lauderdale County.
Right.
Right. From Muscle Shoals to Florence. 2 bridges here, and of course Wilson Dam, right? So,
and I'm from that side of the river,
the Lauderdale County side,
and you're from this side of the
County
river.
Yeah, the good side. People that live here don't realize how spoiled they are. How wonderful. I mean, a lot of times how wonderful it is.
Right.
They love it. But when it gives you some idea when you go away,
right?
Like you said, and like you said, flying back into Nashville. They call this place Nashville's Big Backyard. Mm-hmm. That was a promotion they were running not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we're 2.5 hours from Nashville.
Right.
If we go to the airport, the Nashville airport.
Yeah, those people are still like those are like my people. They're still, from the South or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of those people, those Nashville recording artists, are still coming here.
Right.
Like I'll tell a story real quick, and we'll wrap the show up. I told you this. So a couple weeks ago, I have a building that's listed over on Avalon, right? And a guy called me about it because it was next door to Wishbone Studios.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And he's like, I want to call and check on this building. I was like, okay, da-da-da-da-da. And so we go through the whole spiel about here's the square footage and here's the location, and here's the price. And I said, well, let me get your name and I'll send you some other options or whatever. He gives me his name, and he only gives me his first name. And then I'm like, well, what's your last name? I want to put you in my phone. So he tells me, right? And I go online and I Google that guy's name because he said he was at the studio, right? I was like, well, we might be. I might this dude has a Grammy for recording engineering, right?
That's
like he's a Grammy
awesome.
award-winning recording engineer who's just called me up because I had a sign up,
Right.
And I was like, that's Muscle Shoals for
That
you.
right.
Right, like that's it. That
Just you
nothing
don't,
sums
you
it up
never
more.
know. I mean, there's just like hidden little gems tucked away.
Absolutely. I mean, you may be at the Walmart checking out next to somebody who has a Grammy,
Right.
and you don't even know it.
Right.
You
Right.
know, a lot of people move here from other places. They come here and they fall in love
They
with
fall in love.
the Shoals. They go to
Right.
UNA and they get their degree, and then they're like, yeah, I'm just going to stay here. They find a job because the job market is good here. It's just there's so
It's a
many
great
benefits
place,
to
yes.
living here, working here, and being part of this community. So if you think that you're interested in this community, of course, give us a call. We would love to talk to you about it. We are just in love with where we live.
Yes, the Shoals is a wonderful place to raise children, to retire here, to, go to school here, all X, Y, and Z. But yeah, we'd love to talk to you about more things about the Shoals if you're interested. And it's just a great little place.
This week, we're going to talk about the 5 biggest fears people have when they're building a home.
I don't think a single person would come on this show, or you would ask a single person that we've built their home, would they have done it the other way? Would they have bought a home versus build a home? And I mean, those people are cheerleaders for building custom homes, in fact.
And even some of the things on this list that are fears, it happened.
they're legit. Yeah.
Like it happened
And
to
they-
these people, and it still
Right.
came out on the
Life
other side.
goes on,
Yeah.
right.
So there's 5, we've talked about today, 5 fears that people have. They're legitimate fears, right?
Right.
They are real. And so they're not, it's not
Well,
like,
you're
oh,
dealing with a lot of money,
it's not unfounded.
Right. You're either going to buy a house or you're going to build your house with X amount of dollars.
You may or may not overrun your budget. You may or may not have construction delays. You may or may not have things that have to be repaired or fixed because of quality of workmanship. You may or may not want to move forward because you can't even decide who you want to choose as the builder. You may or may not want to move forward because you can't figure out where you want your bedrooms and your bathrooms and how you want your layout to be done. We can help you with that. We can't make it not a realistic fear, right?
Right.
But what you have to do is, like I said earlier, mitigate the risk. You're going to buy somebody else's house that's already built, or you're going to build your own and have your own input. And both are legitimate, ways to own homes.
Right. We can handhold you through this entire process.
Yeah.
And to make your fears, to ease your fears, and to give you a peace of mind. And we've got, several clients that we have references for, that
Everybody that's
wanna
ever
talk.
built a house, though, they have these fears.
Right. Right.
It's not like they just were so brave and they just didn't have. Even people that have bukus of money,
Right.
they worry about the
Well,
budget.
and I'm thinking back, a few people that we have built houses for were not planning on building. They were planning on buying. We couldn't find the right house for them. They built, they loved it, wouldn't do anything differently. And then a few people that we have built for, without a doubt, always knew they wanted to build a house. But regardless, those two people still go through these fears, like over budget and, construction delays. And, so this is not anything new on either one, so.
Yeah. So if you have those fears or whatever, if you'd like some help just to alleviate your concerns, contact us. We'd be glad to talk to you about it.
Yes, we can navigate you through the entire building process.
Leave us a comment below what you think. Maybe, hey, here's another thing I didn't think about. Here's something that you guys didn't cover in the show. Put that in the bottom in the comment section. Let's talk about it there. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about little things that make a big difference when you're building your home. All right, so we've been in the process of working on a house, and we've kind of been talking about, with a client and with a custom build, some little things that make a big difference in the overall enjoyment you have from your home when you get it built, right? Some things cost more money than others. Some of those things are just like, hey, this is a little bit of an extra, but you should do it because it will make a big difference in how much you enjoy your home.
And you know that I am all about like a little extra.
Oh, you're a lot extra.
But here's the deal, though, and that's where people really mess up. You really have to formulate a plan and semi-stick to it. I mean, because that plan, / budget, because there is a ceiling there. There's only so much money And when you add those little extra things, it does add to the overall cost of your project. But here's the deal, though. Like, you really have to weigh out, these little things. When we talk about little things, sometimes we're talking like we're splitting hairs between like less than $100. You know what I mean? Like, to go up a little bit than the standard. Like, this is the standard. What we usually sell. You can go up a little bit, but not too much. And also, I always say, and I always tell clients that, pick a few things that are really important to you, and you can kind of splurge there, but you can't splurge everywhere.
So I tell Kim all the time, $500 is not a big deal when you're building a house, but $500 10 times is how much?
$5,000.
$5,000. So
$5,000.
if you add these things on, some of them are more expensive than others, but if you add these things on, then you're looking at an additional cost, and every time you do it, it adds up, right? So you talk about over the course of building your home, yes, I want to do this little extra thing, and I want to add this and add that, and then you get to the end and you're like, well, I'm $10,000 over. What happened? Well, you made these choices, right? And we encourage you to make choices that are going to be what you will enjoy when you live in your home, because you're going to be there for a long time. Most people that are building a home are going to be there at least 3 to 5 years. Some people are building their forever home.
Right.
And that makes a difference. If you're going to splurge and you're moving, or if you're going to be there forever, the cost is not, if it's spread out over a number of years, is not as big of a deal.
And here's the thing with us about these little things per se. It's funny because I think that we have added more little things throughout our progression of building. It seems like we add another little thing every time we build. And, that kind of separates us from other builders, I think, because a lot of times people, they go back to the drawing board and they're like, okay, what can we cut? Because material costs are so high. But then in the end, our houses usually sell, knock on wood. That's what makes our house a little different than the others.
Oh, yeah, and
those
building
extra
technology is always changing, right? There's always new stuff that's coming out. We're learning and integrating these new products all the time. So, and this week we're going to talk about interest rates.
Buy now, honestly, buy now, date the interest rate now. When the interest rates come down, marry that better interest rate and refinance.
Date the rate and marry the house.
Oh yeah, did I say that? No.
Date the rate, marry the house, because you want to get the product.
Yeah, date the rate, the interest rate, and then marry the house. Love it. And then refinance.
Yeah, because I think the overall theme, I would say, from today's show is this. The interest rates, while you feel like they are a huge deal when you're buying a house, they really aren't as important as getting a piece of property under your ownership.
Right.
Right. And when everybody's playing on an even playing field as far as interest rate goes. So when those rates come back down and you own the property, now you've got this property at this other price, and you can refinance it at that great rate. If you wait until they come down, now this price is escalated,
right?
And you're fighting everybody for it, just like we saw in 2020,
right.
2021.
We saw, yeah.
You couldn't get a house.
So. No, they were literally within hours,
gone.
Everything was gone. You couldn't even make it. They were sight unseen sold. Let me say this too. I know buying a house makes people kind of, squirm in their seat and scratch their head, and, they just get uncomfortable because they know that it's the right thing to do in their heart, but their mind is doing the math. And so, but if you fully understand, and of course, you need to, all this needs to be bathed in prayer, because it may or may not be the right time for you, but knowing all this, though, setting it all out on the table, it still makes sense to buy a house now. And also, though, when you do buy a house, it's very important to choose the right realtor for you. Let me just throw my little 2 cents in there about a realtor, because every house is not all created equal. Make sure that you've got a good realtor in your corner that's guiding you through the process, that's checking all the boxes, that's, making sure, hey, Did you check for this? Did you check for that?
Well, you're plugged into a good lender who can help you with all these rates
Exactly.
and all these things.
Exactly. So there you have it, guys. Interest rates. The low-down dirty of the interest rates. Basically, it's still a great time to buy a house. So when is the best time to buy a house? Like John said 5 years ago, yesterday. When is the next best time? Today. Don't wait. And if you have any questions, just give us a call and we can walk you through the process. And, everybody's situation is different. So we'd be glad to look at it and talk to you and put you in a home. So.
Yeah, we've thrown a lot of information out today. Hopefully, Lance, our editor, will be able to take that and put it in a way that you can break it down and understand it. I would recommend watching this one on YouTube. If you're listening to it on podcast, go back and watch it on YouTube so you can see some of the graphics and things that kind of help take all this information and make it make sense.
And grab a little, notebook and pencil and do the math yourself, and you can kind of plug in your own numbers if you've got a house that you're looking at or you want to kind of know where your ballpark is, what kind of house you can afford, and plug in the numbers there. So real estate ramble, here we go.
Yeah,
this is from John's head. Okay.
I cannot stand it when people call me up and want to go look at a house.
Wait, is this real estate ramble or real estate rant?
It can be both.
Okay. There's so many rants about real estate. There's so many great things about real estate. I love people. I love to.
It sounds like it.
To talk to people. I mean, it's a time where I can get some adult time in and, catch up with people and, you build a relationship with people. And that's what I like about real estate. But people do waste your time too. I don't like the fact that I have had clients that I've shown 40 houses to.
Mm-hmm.
You and I both, we've shared that. So that's annoying, but I know you've got to, find your house. But, the same time, if you're in the market for a house to buy, and there's a house that you want to see, okay, make sure you drive by it. If you see it on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Them people too, man.
Drive by the house. And usually, as soon as you drive by it, you get, there's, if it's a possibility or not, just by seeing it and the location it is in. And, just by pulling it up on Google Maps, that doesn't work. You can't see the neighbor's house. You can't see what's behind it.
You can on Street View. And I tell people to do that sometimes
well,
if they're
that's
out
true.
of town or whatever. But
yeah,
go by it, right?
Drive by the house. If it's a possibility, then, call us up and we'll be glad to meet you over there. Listen to your agents. Listen to the market.
Listen to your agent. Don't waste people's time. Put your milk in a bag.
Yes.
And tune in to next week's show. This week's show, we want to talk about why you should use a realtor to sell your home rather than selling by owner. Time and convenience for sellers. We alluded to this a little bit earlier, right?
Yes.
So, again, best case scenario, you put a for sale by owner sign in your yard. Now you get your phone ringing 20, 30 times a day, right? And when it's ringing 20, 30 times a day, you're trying to work. You're trying to do your family thing, you're trying to do whatever. No, you got to talk to these people and figure out when they can come, and then you got to figure out how to get out of your house.
Yeah, if you want to sell your house, you're going to talk to those people.
Or you got to figure out how to show them your house and not be, weird or be awkward, or you got to deal with complete and total strangers, right? And then have them come to your home, and there's no buffer between, right? So the best thing about, to me, dealing with that, and people don't think about that. They're like, I'm going to save all this money. Okay. But you're going to be dealing with the public. You're going to do all this legwork. And then when you get a contract, you're still going to have to figure out where to
Let me
close
just say this. Let me just put in a little 2 cents. If you decide to sell your home for sale by owner and you decide to do all that and you do have a friend that's a realtor, y'all, do not call them up and ask them all kind of questions.
Oh, yeah. People do that all the time, right? Hey, I'm thinking about selling my house, and can you tell me how much it'd be worth? Well, yeah, I'd be glad to come do a listing presentation. Oh, well, I'm not going to list it. I'm going to try to sell it by owner.
How much do you think it's worth? Y'all don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't waste our time. Don't waste another realtor's time. Don't do it. Don't do it. And also, let me just throw this in there too. I know this is for sale by owner, but if you do have your home for sale with another realtor, don't call your other realtor friend and ask them a bunch of questions.
Yeah, that's actually against the rules and stuff there. So,
but let me go back to this 0.5 time and convenience for sellers. Time, I think time when you're thinking about people that have their house for sale by owner is so important, and it is like location is to buyers. Time is so important. You really have to look at, do you have an exponential amount of time? I mean, because that's what you're going to need to answer phone calls, to do all the legwork. There's just so much involved when you're selling a house that a realtor could take care of for you. So again, if you have all the time and just an endless amount of time, that's what I feel like for sale by owner is that.
Yeah, is it going to cost you money to sell with an agent? Yes, it's going to cost you. You're going to pay for that, right? Because what you're getting, just to recap, what you're getting is expertise and experience. People who have bought and sold 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 houses, hundreds of houses, and know what to expect and what's going to happen.
Right.
And when something
all
comes
that
up, it's crazy, and you can say, no, I've been through this before. I've got the experience. Here it is. Right.
But that cost is built into the final number.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Number 2, price and guidance and market analysis. We know where the market is. We've got tools and technology that helps us to do that. Number 3, marketing exposure. We get you in the MLS. We come out with professional photographs. We get the handyman in there to do the repairs that need to be done. We handle all of those things. Then when you get an offer, you don't have to deal with that person at all. We handle the negotiations, and we tell you, no, I don't think they're being fair with you. You need to answer this way. We don't want to make them mad and have them walk away, but I think if we handle it like this,
right.
We've been trained, we've studied, read books, learned how to negotiate deals, and we've been involved in lots of deals in the past. We know here's what we should do.
Holding it together.
Hold it together. Hold it in the road and keep that thing going.
Cobbling it together. And then lastly, time and convenience for sellers. You know, that's huge, because a lot of times you're in a time crunch already to put your house on the market, because most of the time you're looking for a house to buy, and you've got to sell your house. And so or you're relocating or whatnot, and so that's where a realtor will come in. And
the convenience of it too, right? Just screen those people, because when somebody calls me and says, "Hey, I want to look at this $400,000 house," my first question is, "Do you have a lender?
Right?
Do you have financing in place?
Do you have a pre-qualification letter?
Are you where are you living? Do you have a house to sell? What's your work situation?
Yeah, I'm not just going to parade you through the door.
Let's go to the house and we're gone, right?
Yeah.
So, all that being said. Speaking of time, it's time to wrap the show up for the week.
It is.
If you're thinking about selling by owner, this show is for you. It gives you the information that you need to make a decision about why you should have a real estate agent, right? Because it's going to help you in so many ways. It's invaluable, and a lot of times it's not going to cost you any money out of your pocket. You tell us the amount you want, and we're going to work to get it for you, or we'll tell you that's not going to be possible. That's an outlandish ask, and we can't do that. And then you'll know, right? It don't cost you anything to meet with a real estate agent and discuss the value of your home. Contractor nightmares. Let's talk about all the things that we've seen happen, craziness with these contractors.
Can we even do that?
Oh my gosh. It is like there's always something, right?
There's always something.
And you have to laugh to keep from crying, basically, like when things happen.
I tell my friends sometimes, real estate and home building are not that different than teaching, y'all, and being a school counselor.
That's right. Yeah.
Like there's so much that we have to filter through daily. Like, oh, is that real? Is that not? Do they need?
Somebody's in a fight.
Somebody
brought something they weren't supposed to bring.
Do we need to counsel them?
Where'd they go? We're hunting them down. Where's he at?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes.
He's skipping school.
Yes. All the things. It's not that different.
All they are is high school kids that have grown up, right? That's what they are.
That's what everybody.
Yeah,
everybody.
But you know what I'm in other words,
society is high
they're
school
just
children.
The public like everything else,
right?
So.
And then we still, with our background in teaching, we still have the need of oh, can we help you? Can we do this? And so sometimes in the beginning, I think that that kind of bit us in the butt in the beginning, because we did have a big heart, and then it was like, okay, we are getting, I think, we're getting
taken advantage of.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So,
because we would find out that same person that didn't show up at our job site is down the road finishing another house for somebody else.
Not sick.
Not
broke down car. not
Right.
all these other crazy excuses and stories that we're going to tell.
Here's my thing, though, that's always kind of crazy. I know that I'm at a job site if I get out of my car and I look down and there are eaten, or I don't know what you would say, chicken wing bones on the the road and just kind of littered throughout. Like, that's when I know I'm on a job site.
That's right.
Something got done today,
Yeah, somebody ate their lunch here.
Because I don't know, contractors love chicken wings. Like, I don't know why. But
Chicken wing bones.
Yes.
Yeah, which is not a big deal on new
no,
construction.
it's not a big deal. But
But now we used to be in
For
the
whatever
remodeling
reason.
game, and it was somebody else's house, and it would be chicken wing bones just thrown out in their yard. It was like, hey,
nope, you can't do that.
you can't do that.
Right,
So,
because animals and dogs and I don't know.
well, it's just trashy looking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, for whatever reason, like, put your chicken wing garbage in the trash.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, though, we don't deal with a lot of crazy contractors. We've, in the past,
Over the years,
we've
you
had-
just pile up a bunch of stories like that, right? And that's
Right.
that's kind of the way that goes. So,
All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that 40th episode roundup recall.
best of the rest
Best
of.
of the rest of. So, like I said, feel free to go back and watch the other ones if you want to get some more content on investing, or if you're in the market for selling or buying or whatever. So, all right, we'll see you next week, guys.
Thanks for listening to the House Guy and Home Girl podcast, your #1 source for all things home. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and check out our YouTube page for video content from the show.